Okay, I got knocked off again. So there's either we're taking some enemies or we got kids to shut me up. Okay. Yeah, but yes. Okay. Might give me a hand and pull some shit around to a better position.
I hear you now.
There. All right. Well, I'm just trying to move my position to get a stronger signal, and hopefully this is better. Yeah, I got two solid.
Maybe not.
What's that?
That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, you don't want to go friggin' goofy on my ass.
Hello, I can hear ya.
Yeah, I was talking to my daughter. She's messing with my stuff.
All right, well, we're live on the air, right? So just a reminder.
Yeah.
Anyway, looks like I've got a little better signal here. And
yeah, I'm hearing you much better.
All right, there we go. My camera isn't on, Kaz. It's just welcome to my world, eh? Anyway, so welcome again to another special edition of Freedom Reigns Radio, where I get to host a fundraiser with no vested interest because it's a fundraiser for me. Kind of weird that I'm doing this, but whatever. I guess I got to do what I got to do. But more importantly, we're going to talk a whole lot more about Divine Providence today, Peter, and the importance of people doing their homework. And based on the earlier discussion we had via texting back and forth, one of the things that I'm going to put out across the air, and I want everyone to hear this, and I'm going to keep saying it as much as I can. Thank you. As much as I can until you guys get it. All right? Here's the thing. No one is coming to save you. That's the bottom line. Okay? And I need people to get that. No one is coming to save you. The only one that can save you is you. So you have the obligation and the responsibility of giving yourself life, no one else. If you're looking for someone to walk you by the hand and do everything for you, then just stay in the system, because that's what the system has trained you into. What you need to do is step outside that system box and take responsibility for yourself and be able for others. Beyond that, there's nothing more I can do. And one of the things that you brought up earlier, Peter, is people thinking that they actually know what they're doing, and they don't. And that's because they don't do the homework. So I'm getting all frazzled and upset and everything else about it, because I know I've been there, and I know you are, and JP and everybody else that has to handle this stuff. But the bottom line is this. The easiest way to do this is to do up maybe a 20-question exam that people have to get perfect. And if they don't get perfect, they don't get the paper. Until you get this, until you get what we're talking about and the importance of it and the relevance of it, all the information for Divine Providence is on the sites there. It's just take the time to read it. Let it absorb. You're not going to get everything instantly. And if you've got any sense of ego or needing to solve something or whatever, you've shut down 90% of your mind. So you're going to get it. So the best thing to do is just absorb it. And don't try to find answers. The answers will present as soon as you stop looking. That's how this game works. It's the cane that's going to run you through every time, trying to figure something out. Just let it come to you. The epiphanies will hit. You don't even have to try. What say you, Peter?
Yep, because my brothers and sisters are in the deep end. They've been in the deep end for a long time, and everybody wants the instant fix. They want to click on a light switch, and it's, here was the magic. There is no magic wand. It takes time, takes energy, takes some compunction for responsibility on all our parts. I'm going to share how I started this thing, and I didn't have no hand-holding, but you know what? I realized that I was one of the few that didn't need a bunch of hand-holding, not because I'm special, but because of 25 years of research understanding how to administrate a document in the private side. And for all my brothers and sisters that continue to think they can use the fiction mailing location and identify themselves as not knowing who they are, they continue the saddest part of the equation, I guess, is this. They think they know, and they think once they got the documents spit out to them, they think that they're correct 100%. Well, they're not. So you pay $20, and JT has brought this forward for you to basically do your due diligence, and it states it on my page, it states it on his, checking for correction errors, finding out which side of the page your seal's got to go on, where you need to center up your domicile, not using fiction mailing locations, being on the land, not in the land. I mean, there's just so many different things. So out of the love of my heart, we put suijuris.me together for all our brothers and sisters to exponentially increase the learning curve, not to impede it. The problem is everybody's got ego problems. They're all mad and stuff because, hey, well, I did the documents. Yeah, when they sent them to me, I said, yeah, you did them all right. You did them all wrong. And then when I try and give them a little bit of bearing, they could have resolved the whole issue. It's sort of like a penny wise, pound foolish thing. Everybody thinks freedom is free, folks. It's not free. It costs money to keep the computers on, keep the lights on. We're not about the commerce end of it. A man is worthy of his hire. So if my breath to you to bring you outside the box and give you the accelerated learning curve bothers you, then you're not ready. You get to stay right where you're at because ignorance is bliss. And everybody thinks I'm mean-spirited. I got the biggest heart. I got all the love in the world. That's why I posted suijuris.me, because I knew the Postmaster General was not going to be given personal instruction on what you should already know. So Michael and I took it upon ourselves to actually put together a gift, and it's a free gift. It's suijuris.me. Everybody gets to go there and sharpen their swords of truth and get and clear their mind and get their mind right. But it seems like, I guess, the football games and the Dancing with the Stars and the partying with the buddies and friends, you know, hey, I got this guy. He's going to help me short-circuit this thing. He's going to help me circumvent. Nope, I'm not going to. You know what? The freebies are over, so your education starts now. If you don't want to get with the game plan, you want to think that I'm just about the commerce end of this, then you know what? You're stuck on stupid, and you deserve to stay on the slave plantation. You don't get to get free because freedom ain't free. I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on my freedom, and it was a lot of crap. It was mostly all crap. This is not crap. This is the road out. But the whole point is everybody whining like little spoiled children. You know what? Well, the spoiled children can take their ball and go home, and they can hang out on the slave plantation because your master's got something special for you coming up. He will be glad to put you in check because you can't follow. People don't want to follow directions. I'm giving of what I'm doing, what Michael's doing. Matter of fact, we're condensing the most complex part of the process as we speak. Been working on it for 2 weeks now, or it's a week and a half now after the seminar, and it's going to be so much easier. Everybody's going to get it on a whole different level in a good way, and we don't get comp for this, folks. It ain't about the money, but you know what? It takes sustenance to keep your lights on, pay your bills, keep your computer on, and everybody thinks it's a freaking free lunch. Well, the free lunch has just stopped. All roads pass through me, and if that bothers some of y'all, if my breath isn't worth giving you an exponential learning curve so that you're not stuck on the slave plantation, you're not ready, you can stay where you're at. I'm not going to waste my breath. I know this sounds like I'm browbeaten, but you know what? You ought to be on the receiving end where I'm at of seeing the hundreds of documents come through my back door and saying, well, I didn't know that. Well, I didn't know that. Well, guess what? I've got a help page on my site that says if you're not competent to handle your own matters forthwith, I have an exponential learning curve that's going to bring you out the other side flawlessly, effortlessly. But you got to be willing to do something about it. If you're going to just say, well, I'm doing the $20 package, and JT, I think he sends the crap over on the left-hand side just to see if people are paying attention, because that's the statutory side, and you never want to be on the statutory side. So I think he did it just to see who's paying attention, because when we did the documents, he didn't do no hand-holding. He didn't explain nothing to us about being centered on the page and knowing that the man never sits or stands on the left-hand side of the document. So I'm giving you a freebie here, folks. Yeah, you never want to be on the left-hand side of the page. That's statutory. That's dead man's land. That's the no-fly zone for all you dead entities. Well, I'm bringing you love and harmony. You have something that I never had. Nobody sat me down. Everything I had to get, I had to dig for. But you know what? It's made me 10 times stronger. And if only 2,000 people cross the line on this thing, so be it. Matter of fact, that's what I liked about JT's attitude. He says if nobody else ever did this process, he's free and unencumbered. He goes, I did this for me, but I did it for you as well. But if nobody ever did and took an action and got off their butts to get their education and learn what they really need to know and change their paradigm and got their mind right, he said he was 100% happy because he found out, he got the keys out of Mammon. But that's not really how we think and feel. We want all our brothers to get off the slave plantation. The problem is most of our brothers and sisters aren't ready. And this is where I'm coming from. So if this is becoming offensive, Kate, I'm glad you're giving me a soapbox because, yeah, I'm the one on the receiving end. I'm the conduit. I am directing my brothers and sisters out the other side almost seamlessly and effortlessly, but I guess my brothers and sisters don't believe in the law of reciprocity. What that means is the law of reciprocity is I give freely on the front end, but you're whining on the back end that I'm not giving enough. You know what? I'm done giving, brothers, sisters. You know what? You're all not ready. Now, I'm not saying all of you, but a majority of you, you're whining. I'm hearing, hey, all I get is emails all day. What about this? What about that? What about that? You know what? Take your action. Get your dadgum documents done because nothing counts. Nothing means nothing until you administrate this so-called process coming forward as a live flesh and blood man or woman. If you fail to do this, step 2 doesn't matter. Step 3, 4, 5, everybody worried about a black card and worried about their electric bill. You know what? Your mind's not right. You know what? I don't want frickin' nothing. I'm at the point where I don't care if if the Postmaster General never ever gets the financial end of this thing online. Because you know what? All I want is my stinking freedom. That's all I want is to be left alone to operate in my capacity, in my divine providence as I know how to operate. I don't need nothing from them. But my brothers and sisters we are in the society of meism. It's all about friggin' me. All these damn narcissistic personalities running around crying and whining like little children, like 5 years old. No wonder the government's leading you by the nose like a bull with a ring in it because you all need a lot more direction than what you're stepping into. And I apologize, but I don't. And it's because this is what needs to be heard because, you know what? This is disgraceful. My brothers and sisters, the ones who have the common heart and soul and get it, you are not in this paradigm. It's the ones that think somebody owes them something. You know what? Nobody owes you shit. They don't owe me crap. Nobody has guaranteed me another draw of my breath to the next day from one day to the next. And everybody's acting like 5-year-olds, like spoiled little children who are waiting for daddy to friggin' go do their bidding for them because they fail to have the capacity to look within themselves through introspection and get their mind right. Folks, it's time for the paradigm shift. For those of my brothers and sisters who are listening who already get it, I walk with you in true harmony and spirit. For those that are whining, crying because, oh, well, that sounds commercial. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you what. You're going to pay my light bill for me, brother? Come on down, then it's not commercial. As long as you're willing to pay my bills and keep me running, it's all good. If you want to fund me to the tune of $2,000 a month, I'll be glad to work for total free. I will be the undying slave. But you know what? I'm not a slave. I'm off the dadgum plantation. This is the whole point, folks. Freedom is not free. You're going to pay a price. And there's no such thing as freedom without responsibility. So if you can't get your mind right, you're in the wrong place. You need to stay on the plantation so your masters, through cognitive dissonance, can beat you down further until the pain becomes so great where you get your head out your butt and say, you know what, I think Pete might have been right. You know, I love you all. I will give you my soul, folks. I mean, I will give you the shirt off my back. The problem is, you know what, like JT was saying to me earlier, he actually sent me an email 3 weeks ago. He goes, you got to learn to quit giving it away because they don't respect free. And you know what? He hit a nail on the head because I was doing it for free, and they were still whining about the shininess of the gold bar that I gave them for free. They said the gold bar wasn't shiny enough. You know what? That attitude of disrespect, and failure to show appreciation is right where the mindset of the masses are at. It's the meism, the narcissism, and if it doesn't go away quick, ain't nobody getting off this plantation, folks. Well, I'm past the narcissism. There's nothing else I can lose. I come out the other side. I'm standing on the soapbox of freedom, but you know what? Freedom really is not free. So when do we all get our minds right, folks? What are you willing to give? See, it's like Kate. Kate's willing to give and give and give, and everybody wants to get and get. You know what? You know what, folks? It's the law of reciprocity. If you don't have it in your heart to give to your fellow brother and sister, and I understand there's a lot of you who are sitting in a big crap pile. You're at the bottom of your rungs. You know what? Join the club. Hey, I'm not a far fall from no man's land, but it's all good because you know what? I changed my mind. I changed my spirit, and guess what? Everything's starting to change in a whole different paradigm that I never thought possible. I have love. I have harmony with some kindred spirits that I've met in the last 60 days that I couldn't find over the last 52 years of my life. And now I've found literally dozens and dozens of the same like-mind spirit who are getting what I'm saying. It's like nothing happens by accident, folks. So it really comes down to getting our mind right. The process is administratively is a piece of cake if you understand what you need to do. The problem is everybody's going from a false sense of security, thinking that, well, hey, it's somebody else. He sent me the documents. It wasn't my fault. His computer spit the stuff out, and it was on the left-hand side. I'm considering that that's correct. If he sent it that way, well, no, folks, that's not the way it works. Hello. When I downloaded my documents, it wasn't JT's responsibility to center my stuff on the page. It wasn't JT's responsibility to tell me to make sure to have my seals on the right-hand side of the document because that's where the live man lives. I already knew it. Gee, why did I know that? Gee, I actually dug into my education over 25 years and found this stuff out. So we had to learn how to operate in different capacity as the free man. Hey, folks, it ain't a 5-minute wonder. So you know what? And like I say, for those who have administrative process already, your learning curve has just started. You're just getting started. However, there is a way, a simpler, softer way. There's brothers out there who will walk you through and across the path. But if you think they're worth nothing, then you get nothing. You get what you pay for. Because if I have no value of bringing my breath forward to you and literally expediting your learning curve 10 times than what you would have known had you not talked to me and allowed me to tighten up the back end for you, well, guess what? You're going to continue to, all these people who have done the 98% of the documents that have come across my desk have been incorrect, have fatal flaws because my brothers and sisters think they know what they're doing and they don't think they need no hand-holding. Well, the problem is you're coming from a position of ignorance. You're oblivious to the fact. You're oblivious, folks, because I was at that point at one time in my deal. But you know what? I knew it wasn't free. I knew I had to dig in and find my truth. Well, I found the truth. And I'm trying to share it I'm giving it away. As far as I'm concerned, I'm giving it away because, you know what, the best that I'm seeing that the ones that are coming forward for it, you know what, the ones that are whining about it, they don't deserve it. You know what I say? Go to the back of the bus, and maybe in 6 months from now when you get your mind right, you can come across the finish line. I know this sounds harsh. This is a reality check, folks. The crap is hitting the fan, and you think just when you think it got ugly, it's just getting a lot uglier. So, you know, where's the love and the spirit from my fellow brothers and sisters who are whacking me on the computer all day long and crying about the mundane because they can't get their minds right? You know, that's considered abuse. Everybody forgot to show the love. They forgot to bring the love. Instead, they're like whiny, spoiled 5-year-olds. I get emails. I got one from one girl. I'm going to share some experiences, folks, so you understand where I'm coming from. As a matter of fact, she put the word queen in her name, and she couldn't be anything less than a queen on her verbal attack upon me, who didn't even touch her documents, didn't even administrate her process. And she's beating my door down and throwing big crap sandwich on it and smearing it all over my door and then wondering why I'm not real happy with the capacity that she's coming at me. And she calls herself a queen, but she was acting like a 5-year-old child because she has no capacity to show love for her brother and sister. Instead of asking a direct question, it's just castigating negative, vitriol, hate. And you know what? for people who have hate, this is the wrong place. You're in the wrong venue. The hate's all out there, folks. It's everywhere. You can find it on the drop of a dime, in traffic, at Walmart, anywhere. Look at the dead eyes behind all these people they're literally like walking zombies because they have no love in their hearts, no love in their souls, and they are literally stuck in their own personal hell. Folks, you can get out of the personal hell if you get your mind right. It's available to all who want it, but not all will get it because some people just won't get their minds right because they think somebody owes them something. So until we get our minds right and get off the slave plantation, I guess my brothers and sisters got a little bit more pain to go through before they get their minds right, because I believe when the pain becomes so great, that's when you're going to lose it all. That's when you either lose it or you come out the other side, because this is a growing process. This really is, and this separates the wheat and the chaff of the love and the divine kindred spirits that are all supposed to come together, and they are coming together. However, the majority are still stuck on the other side of the fence, and I feel your pain, and I love you. I want to bring you all across the finish line. I want to hold your hand. I want to give you a big hug, and I want to share my love. But when you start smashing the messenger in the mouth, the messenger just, I am of kindred spirits, and when you want to cast stones of dispersion across my bow, it creates an animosity that, you know what, I don't have to deal with this. I don't have to do this. I can shut sui juris down today and let everybody figure it out themselves. And you know what? The thought has crossed my mind a couple times already. But you know what? That's not where my real true heart is, because I love helping my brothers and sisters. But my brothers and sisters got to help me help them. If you're not willing to meet me halfway, you got to stay where you're at, because you're not ready. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fuss. I'm just not going to give a crap, and you'll get an empty void of compassion on my end, because you are coming at me with nothing but the meism in your heart. Until you get your minds right, y'all are really stuck in between the ears, and there's some more pain to go through. The path, the least path of resistance is what the hell I'm doing, because I know my brothers and sisters are missing essential elements on the truth, and I know they're missing essential elements on how to administrate process. This is what I want to cover right now. How many people have ever done this before? And the answer to that question would be none of you. So guess what? You're coming from a position of a lack of knowledge, and then you're expecting that you have all the knowledge and you have nothing. So when you put your crap on the left-hand side of the page, you're in statutory. When you put the fiction address on those envelopes to the addressees, to the clowns at the circus, you've literally just showed them who you are, and they know that you don't know, because you're using their venue and jurisdiction just like if you were still stuck on the plantation, because you didn't know that, hey, you can't use that abbreviated state. You can't use that zip code because it puts you in 10-mile square D.C. So these are the little things that are binding my brother up. However, these little things can be put to bed in most post-haste in 5 seconds if you're willing to help me help you. But if you say, well, gee, he's just about the money, then you know what? You got the wrong mindset. You don't got your mind right, and you get to stay where you're at. Pay the $20, and if you can't figure out how to do the documents, and then you know what? The responsibility lays upon your head to go to the next level and take responsibility and say, oh, well, freedom isn't free, but that's all right. I have the least path of resistance because I have a man with knowledge who's willing to bring it for me and give me 2 hours of his life breath, his essence, to share with me that what I would have never found out in 10 years, and he's going to give it to me in 2 hours. I mean, folks, this is what it comes down to. So if you're going to cast stones of dispersion and you think it's about the money, you've really missed the boat, because the commercial end of this thing, I ain't making crap, and I've never been about the money. So if you think that's what it is, but if you think I can function, we're in transition, folks, on this commerce game. So you know what? It's not a light switch action, but it is a great action if you'll move forward and grab the bull by the horns. But you got to give up a little something to get a little something. That's what life's all about. It's a give and take. There is no free lunch. So based upon that, you know, I put the sui juris.me page together. Michael is working. My brother, his damn cars. My brother Michael is putting together the third step in the process, which is the most crucial. And he's doing hours upon hours after this seminar to put this in a context that everybody can understand. And you know he's getting paid for it? Not a dadgum thing. And you know what? Because Michael's got love in his heart, and he's the same with me. Because we know our brothers and sisters need a little bit more direction, but they're not even willing to have the patience. I don't see nobody throwing down and picking up a shovel on my end. So, you know, what do they say? Lighter hands make lighter work. Well, you know what? I guess I'm the freaking bulldozer today because I am carrying the weight, and I'm sharing with you. Hey, you know what? I want my brothers and sisters from Australia, Canada, and all these people to come out of her, and we were working on it as quickly as possible. We're appointing deputy directors or deputy PMGs underneath, within the parameters of the hierarchy of the Postmaster General in other countries so that we can all move forward together in harmony and love to get off this crazy train that we call the IMF and all this other crap, these control mechanisms that have,
Peter, let me jump in for a sec. Take a breath. I love you, man.
Yeah,
you
thank
just
you.
go and go.
I didn't take my Xanax today. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, I love it. I think it's beautiful. You know, it's very relevant, everything that you're saying there. And I call this the cookie jar effect. Because here's the bottom line, people, and I'm going to be really blunt with you. I have so little left in terms of what I can do to liquidate to stay alive. I'm living in a tent right now. I've never left my post, and up to this point, I would say that I never will. But I got to tell you something, and this is not a pity party or guilt or anything. I'm going to share with you the mere reflection of what it is that I am worth. I am, at this point, we're 3 days in. Because my goal, Peter, and you already know what it is to get into a place where I can reset up my office. I have dragged everything with me that I can to reset up an office where I can actually help people do all this paperwork and get it set up and work with them one-on-one, like you, and to help deliver, give people their walking out of Babylon. And quite frankly, I checked the chip-in, which is the online chip-in. You can get to it at levelmind.wordpress.com. And right now, 3 days in, I'm obviously not worth anything because we're sitting at 8% of the target in order to secure that. Here's the bottom line, people, and I'm going to be real blunt about it. We are literally days away from me. I literally have to shut down. You won't hear my voice anymore because I gotta live. I gotta survive, and I have given literally millions. And I'm going to put that out there in real literal terms, so you know I'm serious about this. I have given literally millions. My whole life. To provide to you. Every day, every week, anytime anyone calls me, I'm always here. Always. And by the time this comes, push it come to shove, so I won't be here anymore. Because I gotta live. I have given everything, my family, everything. And if you're not getting it now, you never will. And quite frankly, I don't fucking care anymore. Because, judging by what I'm seeing, Peter, I don't fucking matter. And that's okay. I am just a mirror of the value of those listening. And if it's only worth 8% of what we're trying to do so that I can help thousands and thousands more, then I only have 2 words for everybody out there, and I'm talking to your king directly, so pay attention to what I'm saying here. This is directly to your king. Fuck you. Because really, you don't give a shit about me, so I'm giving a shit about you, because I love me, and I love you. And if this is the mirror that I'm seeing, then obviously I'm not doing something right, so I'm just going to shut up and move along. It was interesting the other day, I think it was on the overnight, I was in a show with Adam White last week, and through the show, it was brought down to as being a tip. It wasn't a tip. It's just I'm a very, very proactive servant. Someone tells me to shut up, well, I shut up. And then I move along. So I literally, you see, here's with me. I take things literally in the now, and this is where I don't have an issue with anybody. You can say whatever you want to me. I don't particularly care because I know exactly what's speaking. And I know it's not the most beautiful essence of the being within. So what I try to do is exactly what I do with myself, because my mirror is my checkmate. Okay, if I look in my mirror every day and say, did I make a difference today, and answer yes, then I had a wasted day. And I guarantee you, over the last 20 or 30 years of my life, I've done that every day. And I have not had one wasted day where I have at least made a difference in one person's life. So obviously what people are telling me, and this is the mirror coming back to me, that people actually don't give a shit about what I'm doing, what I'm saying, what I'm writing, what I've went through, what I've given, what I've given up. And I'm at that point now where all I've got left is a couple of guitars that I can sell and a few other things. And after that, it's I'm done. So, I have to. Here's the thing. It's like I'm fighting tooth and nail day in, day out. And there are some people out there that have been absolute godsends to me in literally keeping me alive in terms of feeding, helping with food, and I'm living in a borrowed tent on some borrowed land right now on some borrowed internet. And, I don't matter. You guys are just telling me exactly what I need to hear. And if I don't matter, I'm just going to move along. And Peter, if people don't want me to help them, that's fine. I won't. You see,
you're right.
This is what you're talking about. This is exactly what you're saying. If you don't want, what you're telling me, what everyone is telling me is they don't want fucking help. They just want to get on with their illusion and play their little games. They're bred in circuses. They want to be a part of the Roman Empire and collapse and fall and be a part of the paradigm that drops out of here. And it will. And if it's just a matter of people like you and myself and a handful of others that actually end up, graduating and leaving it all behind, well, you see, this is the thing here. You saved you, I've saved me, JT saved himself, and the others that we know in our immediate circles have saved themselves and have literally given everything of their lives and everything of their, we've not had time to have an ego, because if it was really a situation of being embarrassed or being, feeling degraded and all the rest of it in terms of our lives, well, we've already had that shit stirred in our lives. And we have been the ones standing to post in complete defiance of everything that is considered normal here, because we know that it is not normal here. We know that it is backwards. And there is a much higher ethereal agenda here. And quite frankly, I'll be the first one there to wish you well on your FEMA train camp, or your trained FEMA camp. And they're the ones that are going to deliver you into exactly that which you were wishing for. So I have to throw the most gratitude that I can muster here, and this is not sarcasm, this is pure gratitude to those that have actually cared enough to, chip in a little bit. And I don't care if it's one penny. The simple fact is, it was the action of doing, not the action of giving. It's just that throwing that energy is more important in terms of the agreement. And for those that have just, taken willy-nilly, and I know lots of people, the first 6 months I was in this, I secured literally millions upon millions of dollars for people in getting rid of debt. Just got a recent one there from information from a friend that made, well over $20,000 disappear based on what I've done and what they've learned. So, if people don't understand that, that's fine. I get it. That's cool. You don't need me, and that's great. And if you don't need me, I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I did last week when someone tells me to shut up. Okay, well, I'm going to shut up. And if you don't need me, well, I'm just going to move along. You don't need me. And, I'm the cookie jar here, people. If you don't want any more fucking cookies, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I really don't. Honestly, I'm at the point of absolute nothing here. So I can create my absolute everything. And if I'm not worth anything to you, well, then you've stated your case, and that's okay. If you think back to all the times that you went to church and you threw $20 or $30 into a fucking dish, someone is feeding you a lot of lies off the pulpit because they don't even know what the hell they're talking about, then that's great. If you think about the 10% of your incomes that you've thrown at these monkeys for so long that have degraded you and have been raping your children, me being one of them, that's fine. That's fine. If you think bullshit, lies, and garbage, entrapment, and all the rest of it is worth, that much of your life, if you're still stuck in the religiocosis, then go ahead, feed these pedophiles. They're trying to wake you up by doing that, by the way. So it's good and evil. They're beautiful and evil in the same breath. So keep flying the energy there, because you only got another 25,952 years to repeat the same cycle. That's all you have to do. I'm done. You know, I came here on a mission. I know exactly what my mission is. I know exactly who I am. And you wouldn't believe it if I told them. So I'm not going to bother. I'm just a messenger, guys. And go ahead. Keep running me through. Keep shooting me. Keep fucking beating the crap out of me. I don't give a shit. Keep telling me that I'm fucking worthless. I really love that because the gratitude and what that's showing for me is my worth because I know that in the mirror, if I'm worth nothing to you, I am worth everything to the all. And that is the most precious gift to me. So that's fine. You don't want to hear my voice anymore. That's great. I'm just going to move on because I'm at that point. I've been at this for literally on the air for 4 years. I have had the shit beat out of me. I have been downtrodden looking for this truth and finding it. The only way I knew I found it was because I was getting the shit beat out of me. Literally, and I did 28 days solitary confinement to prove the whole system was bullshit. You know, but no one wants to know that. They don't want the truth. They want their, like you said beautifully, Peter, what they want is they want their reality TV. Well, you are a reality TV guy because you're stuck in the illusion. And you're telling Peter, myself, and everyone else that has walked this path down the yellow brick road that have been planting roses all along for you to stop and fucking smell, you lazy bastards. And that's the cane I'm talking to. And you go ahead and you keep smelling those roses. Don't worry about planting anything else because here's the truth of the matter, guys. We're so far down the yellow brick road that we're in the Emerald City now. Okay? If you can't, hey, listen, I'm the Gemini. I got the key to the pearly gates of the Emerald City. And I found them, and where they were is exactly, they came right out of Ashburn, Virginia, with JT and Peter and Mike. There's the Holy Trinity. If you guys want the truth, this is the truth. And I'm hoping that very shortly that beautiful trinity of beings in Peter, Michael, and James Thomas, when they realize exactly what they have, which I honestly don't think you do yet, but I can see it from the ethereal. I'm standing way so far outside the box here that you have no idea what is being presented to you. And you're very happy in your enslavement. And quite frankly, I grant you that beautiful, most beautiful free will choice that you have. So thank you for flowing the beautiful energy of telling me that I'm worthless to you. Because in that mirror, in this backwards world, what you've told me is that I am worth everything to the all. And I cannot be more filled with gratitude. So my silence is coming up very shortly because I have to carry on here. I don't have a roof over my head. That's fine. You guys don't give a shit. That's okay. The ones that have close to me, great. You've kept me and a couple of others alive for a little bit longer, and that's great. So, quite frankly, I can walk into the wilderness right now and drop this body just because I know how to, without doing anything physically. I can leave this place so easily, and I'm so tempted right now to do so. And when my voice is silenced, what will it matter? And only in that beautiful, paved paradise, put up a parking lot, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Until that beautiful moment arrives, and you were this close. You are so close to that moment with me. Because honestly, I don't know where else to turn. Two, I don't know what else to do except I got to move on. You guys are either going to help me carry this torch, or I'm just going to turn into the fucking water where you want it. And that way it goes out, and you'll be left in the dark. People like Peter, JT, and all these people, Michael, everyone that has literally sacrificed their entire reality to offer you this, and maybe you tune into these kind of things just because, something resonates and whatever. Maybe something matters to you, maybe it doesn't. I don't really care personally because I'm here to save me. I don't actually have to save me because I came here knowing exactly what my purpose was, so I can leave whenever I want. And what I'm trying to do as the messenger, the Gemini messenger, the Mercurial Hermes, direct from Source itself, if you can't hear me, then that's great. I love you. And I'm glad that you cannot hear me because you've made the choice not to, and that's fine. And you obviously have more to learn, and you want to wallow through some more dark energy, and that's what's coming. That's things to turn off, or you can be part of the beautiful. Not my fault. Peter, take it from here, buddy.
Yeah. Folks, we stand looking into the abyss, and you got nothing looking back. What will you do? This is where the rubber meets the road for my brothers and sisters who get the message, and y'all need to step up. Anybody who's trying to move move forward, the incredible stuff that has been done to date in the last 6 months, I'm blown away. However, it seems that my children, my brothers and sisters, they don't quite get it yet. So, like I say, I'm at the point of, Kate, I love you. I thank you for putting your soul out there. You know what? Because it's going to come back tenfold in another way. It already is coming back. This is not over yet. However, folks, when do we pull together? They put borders all around our world to keep us divided. Matter of fact, JT was covering that very well at the seminar. They are experts at keeping us divided, keeping us on the racial garbage, keeping us in the smoke and mirrors of a false paradigm. Well, it's the wake-up call, folks, because it is coming down to the wire. We're in the 11th hour, and we could move forward to a whole better place, but everybody's, well, what about this, and what about that? What about my electric bill? What about my this? What about my that? You know what? Y'all are missing the boat. And you know what? It's coming down to the wire. So this is a crap or get off the pot scenario we're at now. Michael and I love what we do. We're good at what we do. We are the messengers. We are the conduit. We are directing. We are training. I'm training my other brothers in all the other estates and helping them to bring. And I'm looking to train the others to do what I do because I can't do it by myself. I am but one. But many hands make of light work. The problem is everybody wants it, and they want it now. And, you go into the fray first, so let's see you take your whacks. And then when you come across the finish line in freedom, then I'm going to step in. You know what, folks? It's called the faith of a mustard seed. And if you can't take an action now, when will you take the action? When they're putting the chip in your ass on Obamacare and tracking you like the beast you are, a two-legged beast. That's what they look at you as because you fail to open your eyes and pull the scales back and open your mind. You are not free. Nobody's free. If you are paying the fee, you are not free. I've been broaching these issues with my brothers and sisters down in the South. I had a chance to talk to them. When you have to pay for the right to do what God gave you, you are not free. Somebody has superseded God in the process. Somebody has turned their neck and looked to man as God, as a man God, and he's the one putting out the dictates. Well, if you don't like what you got coming, you're really not going to like what you got coming down the road because it is coming to pass, and there will be a line in the sand. And if you don't draw the line, sort of like free will by rush, even though you haven't made a choice, you still have made a choice. And you're going to have to live with it because, you know what, the slaves have no say in anything. And that's the whole point. So this is a simple administrative process, what we're doing here, what Kate's doing. You know what, we're not trying to bind you up. You're already binded. The smoke and mirrors have worked effectively. It's black magic on all levels. And you've literally they've twisted your brains into buying off on a false ideology your entire life. It's a hard pill to swallow. This is why I put together suijuris.me so you can bite little chunks and start small. That's why I put the 5 steps together because if you start there, you're either going to go into cognitive dissonance and shut down your brain, or you're going to say, that's not right, that is totally wrong, and I have the capacity, if I don't like what they're doing with my estate, I have the capacity and the ability to remove that. Well, you have the choice. It's just a simple business administrative decision, just like JT says. But it also takes the next step to shutting your brain down from the lies and throwing off the yoke of the dead. You are all considered dead in their eyes. We're all decedents. It's all under the SESQV trust. However, now the road to Mammon has been broke through because the divine spirit of one soul came forward and got the keys to get out. We all have the keys now. If we will look this into the eye and come to grips with the truth. It's all about the truth. That's all I've ever been about my entire life. But it seems the truth is a hard pill to swallow, and people would rather wrap their brains in their false paradigm and be stuck in that paradigm. Well, you got a decision to make, and if you fail to make the right one, you will be held accountable to make to have whatever decision you have made. It comes down to you. I can't free you. Kate can't free you. All I can do is point you in the right direction. It's like bringing a horse to water. If I dunk his head in the water and force him to drink, he's going to be pissed off because he's not ready yet. And there are a plethora of folks that are not ready yet. But for those of that you are ready, and you're sitting on the fence, you know what? This is a paradigm shift. It's time to get off the fence because you can't have it both ways. We are in transition. There is no light switch deal here because it's going to take a little work. And if that offends you or affects you or it's just too hard, well, it's going to be a whole hell of a lot harder when they're forcing you to take compliance on a forced chip in your body so they can track you and switch off the chip when you decide that, well, that pain of being on that plantation is too great, but the choice you've made, you've left to them, they've made it on your behalf. Because if you hug the boots of your masters and you don't have the love in your heart enough for yourself, and don't do it for you, do it for your children. Because you know what? If this is what my children got to inherit, you know what? It's not looking good. But my children have capacity. They have ability. They're intelligent. My wife is intelligent, and they have the choice to make for themselves. I've been banging my wife's eardrums for 28 years with this information, and she's not quite ready. This is my own family. So I'm sharing with you folks who are trying to share this truth with your brothers and sisters, your mothers, your fathers. You know what? The majority of them aren't ready. You move on to the ones that aren't. And I basically broached this issue with my wife. I said, when do you draw a line in the sand? When they're bringing you to the school system and saying it's chip day for all those to get Obamacare, but because you failed to make a decision for your freedom, you stayed on the plantation, and they will be glad to exercise your option for you because the choice you made was an inaction, and that means you have no right to cry and whine and whatever about what your so-called masters bring to you, because you know in your mind that you want to be free and that you can be, but you chose not to be. So it's called taking an action, folks. This is really a crap or get off the fence or get off the pot. It comes down to, do you love yourself enough to move and take an action on your own behalf? That's what true love is. Because if you don't love yourself enough to take an action, then you get dictated to for the rest of what little life you have left. This is not a fear factor thing. This is a reality factor, folks. This is what it really comes down to. Everything I share with you, I give to you freely. Everybody can have it if they want it. But there's a lot of people who aren't quite ready for it, and they get to stay where they're at, but that's their choice. We all have freedom of choice. So what is it that we do now? Do we stand fast or do we move forward? Everybody has the right, the ability, and the capacity to move forward with the proper knowledge. This is the whole point for us putting up what we did, Michael and I, because we realize that our brothers and sisters are dumbed down to the point of ineffectual capacity, literally. And those that think they got it down pat, I don't even have it down pat, folks, but I do know this. I took an action, I took a leap of faith, not out of ignorance, but through extensive diligence on my part, and this is the only thing that fits. I get it, and you will too if you open up the paradigm that you are now living in, and you can remove this falsity, but it's up to you. It all lies with us. It's called freedom of choice, and I love you enough to put this stuff out here. This is not some hocus pocus. You've already been through the hocus pocus if you go through the ecclesiastical court systems. So when the pain becomes too great, you have a choice to move forward. If you choose to stand fast because you think the masters are going to have some compassion for you, you're dead wrong. They are the lawnmower and you're the grass, and they're going to cut you down right where you stand because you chose to stay there. Once you know that you can leave, then you got to take an action to leave. But no fighting. This is all about love and harmony, and that's what it comes down to. Maybe you don't hear it in my voice, but like I say, we put all this together out of the nicety of our hearts because we knew Brother JT would not have the time nor the capacity, so we ran interference by creating a site that literally is freedom invoking at every level, and it's all there's no fluff on that site. It's all knowledge that will give you total clarity and freedom if you choose to act. So with that, Kate, I really don't know what else to say much more. I mean, it all lies on their shoulders. You've done your part. I'm doing my part. And, matter of fact, ironically, I said to my brother Michael, I said, I feel like we're both Atlases. He's carrying one half of the friggin' world. I'm carrying the other half, because they really don't get what we're doing here. The sacrifice that he makes, the sacrifice that I'm making, you know what, it's not a sacrifice to me in a bad way. It's in a good, because I know that the outcome has positive effects on massive amounts of people in a whole positive light. I mean, it warms my heart on such a different level that I never thought possible. But I put in the button there, but nobody loves themselves enough to move themselves forward. They still want to operate in fear. If you don't shake the fear, then you got to stand fast, and you'll take your licks where they come, and it will not be pretty. So it's all about freedom of choice, I guess. So everybody makes their own choice.
Peter, that's really what it boils down to. It is about freedom of choice, and it goes back to the Rush song. Yeah, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice in not deciding. And here it is, guys. The cookie jar is getting ready to close, and maybe that's what it's going to take to wake some of you people up into the Self, Pine and Dandy. We can always tune into Freedom Reigns, Wednesday and Friday night, 7 to 9, and hear Kate, rant and spread truth, and everyone gets their little epiphanies and their little life changers, and all of a sudden life starts getting better and everything else, and oh gosh, I don't have to do anything for it. Well, here's the bottom line, guys, and it is at the point where, I got the cookies, and I've been willing to, share them with everybody, but nobody wants to share any cookies back. So when the cookie jar empties, and that's where it is, my cookie jar is empty. When it gets to that point, I can't give any more. I can't give any more than everything I've already given. And I want to do a quick shout out for Billy Watson. Thank you so much for tagging me. One of my heroes, man. And absolutely, I'd love to do a show with you anytime. You know that. So it's just wonderful that we hooked up today, finally. So thank you. And we'll chat after the show. We got another hour of this. And that's one of the reasons why I love bringing Peter on in the capacity that I know if I haven't got anything to say, I know he does. But it's all important. And here's the thing: the remedy, and it is remedy. It's not legal remedy. This is get the hell out of Babylon remedy, where you get to finally be free of the beast and the shackles that have trapped you for millennia. Literally, going through Groundhog Day after Groundhog Day. If you're not ready to move on, that's going to be your choice. And if you don't have the ears to hear and the eyes to see, then that also is your choice. And there's nothing I can do. Again, this is about Kabbalion, a cosmic, and this is where the game lies, guys. It's a natural law here, and that's been the trail I've been on all along. And I am not going to throw pearls before the swine. And where it's gotten to is there are a handful of people that I can see. There was 8. Well, let me see. I'll tell you exactly. Our goal was 3,500, and we've had 8 contributors to the chip in. There's been other people that have chipped in roughly the same again. But of the target of 3,500, which is first, last, and some utilities just to get us into a place where I can get the office set up and start doing all this stuff for people. We're sitting at 8% of that target at $282.77. Thank you for telling me what I'm worth. Thank you for telling me how valuable these cookies are. Thank you again for showing yourself how much you are worth, and that you've been a part of the system for so long that it's all about gimme. And guess what? I don't play that game. I've already given. I have donated beyond any sense of normal. What I have done would be classified as completely insane in this realm. And thank goodness for that, because anything that is deemed insane here is actually normal. So, again, are actually going to get this. And and that's great. You know, here I am. I'll just give you an idea here. I'm sitting on. I've only been on Facebook for about 3 months, and I'm sitting on 500. I think it's something like 558 friends now, and everyone gets. Of course, when I do my posts, every one of my friends gets a part of that, and I get at minimum 10 or more new contacts for people getting in touch with me every day. And of course, the first thing I do is I don't question it. I've had lots of trolls and shills and whatever. Of course, I love when they tag me, because that way I can stop them and have a giggle and move them on, and at least make others aware of it. But the bottom line is this, and this is the groups. And hey Peter, I do my job as a dot connector. This is what I do. I mean, I'm here to connect people up. I mean, I connect people like Santo Bonacci and Danny Wilton, who now all of a sudden you have Danny Wilton, Santo Bonacci all hooked up with Bill Donahue, and these are all people that I'm looking at to connect dots here, because I'm the observer. That's what I treat my role as, and as a net result of hooking up with people like Santo and whatnot, doing lots of shows with him, I hook up with Johnny Guzman at QLP Television, and of course there's JT. A couple of weeks ago did a magnificent interview. If anybody has any questions regarding Divine Providence, just go to QLP Multimedia on Facebook, or QLP Multimedia. Go to the Ustream and watch the video titled Freedom with Johnny and JT having a discussion for an hour. If you want to see what the hell is really going on and the truth of the matter, then have a look at that. But my job as a dot connector. Peter, we talked about this. I contacted you, about 6 weeks ago as a result of Lori from the station here at Freedom Reigns getting a hold of me saying he wanted me to interview you for Sui Jury, so I contacted you. Didn't hear anything, and then all of a sudden we hooked up about a month later, yeah? And you said it, and I agree with you totally, because only when the students are ready do the teachers appear, and only when the teachers are ready do the students appear. And all of a sudden, all these beautiful dots connected up, and on the first day of the harvest, where are you and JT? August 22nd, Freedom Reigns Radio from 7 to 9 p.m. on Outside the Box with me, getting the harvest ready for people if they're willing to start harvesting those beautiful seeds that were planted. And if you don't want any of these most glorious orchards that have been planted, that's fine, and I'm really glad that if you want to plant weeds and harvest those, then go ahead. The system is full of weeds, and you can feed all day long. And Peter and I and everyone else that is involved in what we're trying to do will give you the most gratitude and love, saying, I'm so glad you've made your free will choice. But here's the bottom line. I'm at the point now where, honestly, I don't give a shit anymore. I just don't care, because people have shown me exactly what I'm worth. I'm tired of being the gopher. I'm tired of being the dot connector. I'm tired of being the consummate servant, where, I can only get shit on so many times before Cinderella says, screw it, I'm going to go find somewhere else to clean. And now I'm talking in a very ethereal manner here. And if you don't want what I have to say, then fine. Your actions will speak for you. And I'm quite happy either way. I'm either here to serve, or I move on to serve elsewhere. Because quite frankly, all I'm being told and all I'm being shown is that you don't think that you're worth saving yourself. I happen to think you are, because I see you as a beautiful light aspect, the photon of God, ye are God's light that you are, of pure creation. I know that because I am you as you are me. So, you don't want to flow to me, then you don't want to flow to yourself. And I'll tell you, here's a neat little thing. This one should appeal to everyone's ego that's sitting listening right now. See, here's the joy of me, because anytime anyone flows anything to me, it's always returned 100 or 1,000 fold. I've watched this my whole life. I'm a cat. I live up to my name, Cat, okay? And I've watched it so many times. And it is the most glorious, most beautiful thing to witness, to be a part of. And hey, it's up to you. And I can appeal to your greed on that if you want. Upload a cave and expect something, because the only thing I'll guarantee is that you will. So that which you take from me is that which you will harvest as well. So I'm kind of in that, I walk that middle road all the time. I know that what I've written and what I've done throughout the last, 2-3 years of of my own actions within setting myself free have made vast differences across this planet. I've seen this planet change as a result of my actions. I have seen the Vatican literally jump when I sent an email. I have seen, the crowd literally jump when I've sent them an email. I have seen the local cops where I lived in Guelph. I've seen them jump to the point where they raided my house, stole it, and kidnapped me at gunpoint. And I ended up in 28 days of solitary confinement as a result of my actions, of proving the system wrong, to showing it for the illusion of the good and evil that it is. And again, here we have that beautiful paradigm of someone looking at it as good or someone looking at it as evil. I see it as both. Those that are there to beat the crap out of you are trying to wake you up, so there's the good. And the evil is, they're beating the crap out of you to wake you up. So until you see the butter knife as something to butter your toast with and cut someone's throat, you're fucking blind. And you know what? I'm going to give you the white cane, and I'm going to point you to the cliff, because that's what you're looking for. And I'll be most happy to do that. I will guide you wherever you wish to be. My flagship is sailing true down the river of life, right down the middle. Scylla and Charybdis are of no consequence to me anymore. Where I am, the waters are calm. I don't have to worry about adjusting tack because I'm riding into some storm somewhere. I don't see storms anymore. And that's been my choice, and I've chosen to live there, and I'm quite grateful that I have. So please continue to convince me I'm worthless. Because all that's doing is showing you your own mirror. So carry on. Peter?
Yep. Yeah, I just read a lot of emails. I was reading one from a brother of mine, Tim, down in Costa Rica. Got some good brothers and sisters, but you don't quite get it either. So, anyways, I love the naysayers because it validates what I'm doing. It's all good. For all the naysayers, just stay where you're at. You got it down pat. Because that's all you know is to cast stones of dispersion instead of looking beyond the pale. Anyways, I'm getting off the negative diatribe. Just some beautiful stuff happening this past week. Like I say, Michael's condensing everything that was done at that seminar, which is going to give our brothers and sisters literally an effective methodology that they're not going to be able to ignore. And I know a lot of people say, oh, yeah, whatever. Well, you know what? You don't know what I know. Yeah, just sort of like let's cover a little bit about Deatra's issue there while you got me on the phone, because she didn't know what I was talking about either, but she acted upon it. She had the faith of a mustard seed, and she got her whole dadgum case thrown out the door, and the DA told her it was nothing personal. It was just about the money. And that's what I told her going in straight up. I'm not blowing my own horn, but she knew what to ask for because I told her what to ask for to settle the account and not go in controversy. And it's amazing what happened. We actually had somebody come out the other side without going to do battle. She went in love and harmony. She knew what documents to bring with her. And I normally would not tell anybody, especially a young little sweet thing from Mississippi, on how to go play pit bull. But she played pit bull in love. She went in with the right heart. She had the faith of a mustard seed, and she took an action. And her ass is now no longer uncovered by the system. I think that's a pretty huge thing, but, hey, what do I know? I'm just me. But, this is called paying attention to detail. This is in Deatra. Like I say, when I put this information to her, I knew in the back of my mind I was dead nuts right. I didn't know she would have the strength to act upon it, but she had the faith of a mustard seed. And I told her, I said, if you don't stand up for yourself now, you waiting to the day of infamy, i.e. in front of the judge of the court, would be a little too late, because you can't put the poop back in the elephant once it's already out. I said, you do have a capacity to interject in between the contract and this thing going to court by going in and playing nice, and not the objective wasn't so much to ruffle feathers, but to go in harmony and no controversy to settle the account. When she knew that she could go settle the account, I said, that's all it is. It's just about the fiction, the money, and the claims. You don't have to. All you have to know is that, hey, ask for the custom number, ask for the bid bond, performance bond, payment bond, ask for the dadgum, tell them you got the birth certificate, bond. You're not supposed to know this stuff, folks, and she didn't even have a clue. I gave her 20 minutes of my life on the phone, at the an hour and a half, but the last 20 minutes was just having her pull up stuff off the computer to bring with her so she could so-called give them validity that she knew who she was and what she was talking about. And all she went was in harmony. And the dadgum public defender went back to his boss, and his boss said, hey, this is no longer considered an issue at hand, and you're free to go and don't come back. It's all good. So, you know, I think that's pretty damn amazing, and nobody knows what I know. So as far as, I mean, they think they know, but they don't. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I just read, and through my education, this is the point I'm trying to make. I took somebody with absolutely no knowledge. I couldn't put 25 years of what I had in my head in her brain in 5 minutes, and she was well aware of that, so she knew her limitations. But the best part is, though, she knew her heart and her soul, and she acted upon it with the faith of a mustard seed. She moved forward, and she moved a freaking mountain in her life that's no longer existing. And that, to me, that's the faith of a mustard seed. That's called taking an action. She took an action. They were dragging her butt through the mud, dictating this, dictating that, threatening to steal her kids, and I am so that made my heart so happy that she actually took the action, had the strength of will. It's your free will, folks. She did her free will and acted upon it on something that she didn't know me from Adam. We had never talked a day in our life. Kate sent her over my way, and I said, what the hell's Kate doing to me? She's killing me. And anyways, but you know what? That was an opportunity for me to converse with her and to tie into that kindred spirit and share with her what I thought and what I did know. And if she didn't shake the apple tree, then they were going to cut it all down on her anyway. So I said, you got nothing to lose and everything to gain by standing fast and being a polite little pit bull and going to settle the account. She didn't go in controversy. They knew it, and that's the irony. I still can't believe that the the district attorney called her on her cell phone about an hour or so later and saying, hey, it wasn't personal, it was just business. I mean, you got to love it, folks. I mean, when you get a story like that.
Peter, it goes even deeper than that, and he didn't just call to, talk about just business. That was inconsequential. What he called about was exactly the beautiful awakening that is happening within, because 95 to 99% of the lawyers, judges, cops, and all the rest of them haven't a clue what's going on because they're not taught it. This is all about controlling people with their egos, giving people a feigned sense of power over another human being and paying them, feeding their canes like dog treats. What this lawyer called about was out of, and I talked to Gatra in great length about this, and I told her what the victory was, and everyone overlooked it. And I said, no, what you've caused here is a sudden awakening where this guy went to a superior who immediately said, get rid of it. And it was the expedience of getting rid of it that woke this lawyer up to come back. And when he did call, he said, I want you to come and teach me and my colleagues real law, because obviously you know something that we don't. So this is the awakening, Peter. This goes far and above beyond any sense of victory. That's the victory. That is the awakening.
I forgot that part. I'm sorry. Hey, I got brain damage. I got brain damage. I've been on the phone all day and Skype's all day.
I hear you. I mean, these are the joys, things that people need to get. And this is what we're trying to offer people. And if you don't want it, that's great. Carry on. Enjoy your slavedom. Enjoy paying fraudulent taxes, dealing in debt all day, being bought and paid for, and not knowing who you are. You're walking around thinking you're a meat stick that has to pay things. No, you're the driver of a dead entity of the physical universe. You are the pure essence of life itself, but have been convinced into thinking that I'm a flesh and blood body. No, you're not. The true keys of Peter are understanding that you are heaven on earth, that you are the Eden within. And until you see that, enjoy your slavery. And we're dealing on a game level that is so much grander than anyone can see. For the most part, I mean, I believe it or not, guys, this is where I live and I'm looking at it. This is the Alamo of this universe. This is how so many aspects of ourselves have been overrun by the dark aspects in this beautiful ebb and flow game of creation. And this is about bringing the light back into balance with the dark. And in order to find your own light, you have to find the darkest places. You see, because creation doesn't come out of sun worship. The backwards aspect you have all these people worshiping the sun outside of themselves, which is the false god, the idol, when the true sun is within you. And close your eyes for a second and you see who you are. But that's the problem. Everyone's looking out in the illusion, and that's only half of it. You see, in the illusion are only the clues to your inner awakening. As within, so without. If you're not seeing outside of yourself that which you need to see within, then you're blind. And I am casting pearls to swine here. And you guys are actually showing me exactly what I work by casting, swine back at my pearls. And that's great. If I have to sell guitars and I don't play anymore, that's fine too. Please take the total aspect of my creativity from me, and I will give it willingly to the point where I cannot give anymore. If you want to create the nothing in me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I guarantee you that most people, if not all, who listen right now, are not willing to step to the plate to the extent that someone like Peter or myself have. Why? Because we saw through this illusion a long time ago. We had the questions, and there was only one question, because in the beginning there was only one word, and that word was why. Any 5-year-old will tell you. Why? That is the essence of creation. So you must start asking yourself that question. That is the Logos. That is the in the beginning word. That is the tree of life. That is the single intention going up to branch out into exponential creation. That is the key of Peter. That is the absolute. This is why it was my job, and I will tell everyone this, it was my job to remove the assumption of the law by taking it right back to dispelling it right at the flower of life creation source, that no one and no aspect of ourself in the dark or the light can claim creation itself. And that's where the languages came from the flower of life. So it's dispelled. And I've already had the universe give me the gift of, yes, it's the assumption is perished. It is done. So you can speak freely now. So put your heart and your attention where your mouth is. That's your liquid breath, your road, your key of life, chi, which is the letter S, marks the spot in Greek. Put your key where your liquid breath, rho, is, and start flowing. You're either in the ebb or the flow of this creation. And I chose to be the flow this time, not the ebb. I've been sucking in too much garbage for too long. Now I'm breathing life back out again. And I will change my universe around me, because I have changed it within me. Now life flows forth, not to me. And I can have absolute abundance, and I can have absolute nothing equal it. And that's why I have gratitude in both. Neither one matters to me. You see, what I'm doing now is casting the mirror to you. That you get to see yourself, and are you making a difference? Because I already know I have. I've heard it too many times. And that's just me checking to make sure that I have been the adequate servant of servants, the lowest of low, who chose the highest purpose. And as a gift from universe, I have been given vision and hearing to a level that 2 months ago would for me, sitting where I am right now, be completely unfathomable. And now I sit in literally at the right hand of God, because I'm in that creation mode of the right hemisphere. I am able now. I am not walking with a cane. I'm not walking in this flesh meat garbage that you have. I mean, the fact that I'm a two-spirit, that I am the two-in-one, is just a clue, people, to the illusion that we have been divided and conquered. You are divine dead and cursed. Until you see that, until you see good and evil equally in everything, you will be blind. And may I suggest, that you still see good or evil, go hang out with Drake on his shows, because he'll show you all about hate and anger. Go hang out with Alex Jones. Go hang out with David Icke. Go hang out with Franco Collins. Go hang out with Dean Clifford and the Rob Menhards of this world. Go hang out with them. Please do. They'll show you how to hate and be good or evil. And they'll look and show you how to get all your little gimmies so that you can entrap and enslave yourself, being so caught up in the material universe that you lose sight of the pure essence that you are. And please, in the Fibonacci sense of creation, as above, so below, the spiral is simple. You will spiral up and aspire, or you will aspire down. Expire. Your call. Me, I'm just sitting in the middle. I'm the hover on the float up, and I'm trying to create as much positive love and energy around me as I can to create a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. And those that are willing will get sucked and drawn up into it at a higher vibration. And that's okay, because there is nothing going to pull me down. The only thing that will ever move me is my own free will choice. And I have no qualms or qualms of walking away from it all now, because I have walked away from it all. If you want to hear what I have to say and what Peter has to say and the people I can bring to you, then flow a little in. And if you can't do that, that's fine. If you truly can't do it, then there is honor in that, and I get that. If you can stir a cup of coffee and the value thereof, then do it. And if you can't, well, enjoy your coffee and enjoy your slavery. I'm good with either way. But I'll tell you, it's going to be up to you whether I can continue to speak or not, because I'm at a point now where I need to be somewhere where I can speak. Otherwise, Sept move along. I will. It's just easy for me to disappear in plain sight because I've done it before. You know, if my words are valuable, if Peter's words are valuable, the truth that you are getting and the epiphanies that you would get from, and we know it's truth, because these are the things that we have hunted for all our lives, for many lifetimes, and here we are. We finally got it. We finally have the keys to Peter. If you can't see the pure truth power in that, go back to fucking sleep. I don't have time for you. I really don't, because you're a part of me. You're a part of me that must perish, because and other perspectives of me that are at the same, climbing up to go back to source. That's part of me that I seek. So I have no problem throwing other parts of me away. Not at all. But those are the things that I have to sever with that subject. I'll sever it. And my silence will be that severing. So it's up to you. It's up to you. And if you want to find out how to get a hold of me, it's easy. Just go to freedomreigns.us. It's all there. You go to my blog page. Excuse me. loveovermind.wordpress.com. You can find everything you need to. If you really want to hunt me down, just look for KPA. Look for the Judge Cause to Sovereign. You'll tag me. And I can guarantee you, anyone that's listening and has contacted me can attest to the fact that as soon as they contact me, I contact them back. Many times I do it in real time because I'm usually at my helm, anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a day. That's what I do. I jump up at it literally off the ground every day at this point. After the last, I've been for the last 6 weeks. Yeah, it's been cold. It has been very cold. The rain sucks. The tent leaks. And yeah, I get to pick out all sorts of bugs and everything, not only from my bedding, but from my clothes and what have you. But I stand to post. I made my commitment. I'll stand to post. I shall not yield, and none shall pass. And I will not yield, but I will move on. My yielding is incessant. It will never cease, period. Whether you want to be part of that, that's entirely up to you. So enjoy your ride up with me or enjoy your ride down without me. It's your call. It really is. It's your call. I'm done. I am so done until others can show me that I've done something. Because, if Peter and Michael and JP, myself, and Santo and Bill Donahue and Danny Will, and everyone out there that is doing their job and literally have given their lifeblood to rely on those that are getting this lifeblood freely. They can't flow anything back. Well, I'm sorry, the blood infusion has to stop because I'm tired of bleeding. I've got nothing left to bleed. This is blood from the stone time. So it's entirely up to you. Anyway, Peter, what do you... And I'm being positive. I cannot give more love and gratitude than I have. And people can hear this as negative, but it's not. I'm just being the mirror that they need to see, or they need to see. I'm done. I want to win. I want to help those that want to win. And I really, really know that we already have. You can choose the yellow brick road that we're already down at the end of in the Emerald City. And we're waiting for you to get here, to get out of the poppy field, to get out of that beautiful sleep that you've been in for so long. We've already melted the wicked witch in the West. We have found the guy behind the curtain, and the guy behind the curtain said it right at the end of the movie. The truth was inside of you all along. So click your heels 3 times and make a wish. You're either going to wish for Kate, Peter, and the rest of us all to be here, or are you going to wish for us to disappear? And I love you so much that I will do your bidding as my free will choice to accept and share your free will choice equally. That is natural law in total abundance and total nothing at the same time. I think that's fair. What do you think, Pete?
Yep. Well, like I say, it's all decisions. I'm reading a little overview from somebody who made a post at 4:37. It says, I'm living in this awesome, peaceful world, and then after that, North Boy 22, whoever you are, what planet are you on? Maybe I'll take a trip there. I don't know if they're being facetious or if they're coming in love and harmony.
Yeah, that's and that's it. I mean, there is it's an equal. It is so opposite and equal at the same time that people will have such a hard time seeing it. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I've got Tara sitting here right now. She didn't get a chance to do much talking. Couldn't get on Skype yesterday, so I'm going to put Tara on for a little bit, and I'm going to let her try to give an overview because Tara has been in close contact with me for September. So I'm going to give Tara the headset, and I'm going to let her do a little speaking from her perspective, and bounce back and forth with her for a sec. Peter, okay? Here she is.
Yeah. Could you put a block on your sound because we are getting a lot of traffic, brother. Honey, sister.
Oh yeah, we're talking.
Hello?
You're live.
Hi, everybody. The one thing I wanted to relate to you guys is that I started actually my awakening when I was 14 years old, and I had nothing, no new books. I had nobody to guide me. My entire life was just chaotic for such a long time, and it wasn't until I met Kate and listened to her work, and it was so much easier for me to put together everything. I actually knew inside everything that was happening. I just did not see it all until she pointed it out. I see it every day. I see it everywhere. One of the keys for me in my speech is to show how everything is put together. I'm grateful so much for her and everything that she does and everything that she continues to do. And
Tara, can I get you to speak up a little bit?
Okay. So I have someone said something. Anyways, for the last couple of weeks, just really increased in my self-growth, and I just continue to grow. I just continue to grow. If everyone could just, look into yourself, listen to what he has to say, and take it inside yourself, and just and if it resonates with you, and you just run with it. There's just so much. The words don't even describe. It goes beyond what we know and what words mean. It's just this feeling inside, so close to my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, a little bit of dead
Hello?
air. Who we got?
This is Maria Janet. I've been listening to everything.
There you go, Maria. How are ya?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, I guess we lost Peter there. So, Peter, you're going to have to call back in. I guess he just went off the air there? Yeah, so anyway, he was there, now he's gone. So, Peter, call back in. But anyway, Maria, your 2 cents. We got half an hour left here, so, yeah, plenty of time.
Well, my 2 cents is that you cannot build a house without proper foundations. If you don't have those proper foundations and you have not elevated yourself through study and experience in your heart to know that the new paradigm that we're all entering into is one of peace and love and harmony with nature, and you cannot be in harmony with nature if you are continually subscribing to or participating in acts of war. And that's really, really clear that the old paradigm that we're leaving mandated everybody to participate in all of the acts of war from anybody and everybody around you. Whether you are understood, misunderstood, it doesn't really matter. Until you can get your spirit where it belongs, in harmony with nature, you're just not going to make it to the new arena that we're all going to. And I have found in my life, very, very recently, that acts of war were committed against me and misunderstandably, and I was responding with acts of war. And when I stopped responding with acts of war, things changed. The things that irritated me the most stopped or ceased to irritate me. When I started treating everybody around me as a 3.5-year-old toddler, any parent will tell you that they discipline the toddler not in a manner of injury, but in a loving way to teach that little toddler, no, that is not acceptable in the situation that toddler was in. You don't go beat the child mercilessly to make it understand that, you don't do that. And there's many times parents will let their children experience things so they learn through experience, still guarding the safety of that. So I have found that until one becomes in harmony with nature and one learns the process from JT is absolutely beautiful. The foundation, the experience, the knowledge, the substantiation of what he has put together is unbelievably powerful. But unless you know that, unless you can defend it to everybody around you in a loving way, you're not going to see that picture. And nobody around you is going to see that picture. And you're going to continue your acts of war, receiving and giving. It's my hope that everybody out there listening will learn that, as Kate says, let the able mind disable the cane mind. Come over to the bright, shining yard with green grass and beautiful flowers and get out of the stinky brown yard with all the weeds, because it's really, truly wonderful in the green yard.
Yeah, it's neat. It's perfect timing there. It's really neat when you actually get there, isn't it? Hey, Maria, what I'd love you to share is I have had an absolutely beautiful experience over the last 5 or 6 weeks. You do a webinar with a group of people every Thursday night. Well, it's my tonight from 9 to 11 here. You're 3 hours difference from me. But what I'd really love to hear is your perspective on the paradigm shift that have occurred since, when you first called me to do the webinars to the last one we just did. And you were at the seminar that JT and Peter and Michael put together, so I'd like to give an overview of that as well. So if you can share what you've experienced with those that have been tuning into your webinar and yourself and your experience at the seminar, that would be awesome. I'd love to hear it, to know that there has been a difference made.
It's been quite a journey over the last 6 weeks. The knowledge that you bring to the class on Thursday nights, the interactions and emails that I get from lots of people around the country asking me, what is this process? And I freely tell them what the process is, and I freely tell them to go, order the documents, sign up on JT's website and get on his mailing list and start learning. And the paradigm shift over the content of emails and questions that I receive on a daily basis. Let's face it, all of us are on the phone 24/7. And when we're not on the phone, we're on the computer and putting ourselves out there for examples for people to learn and inspire them to go be inquisitive and learn. And that's all I've ever done is to support those such as JT and Peter and everybody around that have learned this shift, that have built their house on solid foundation. And the tsunamis and all the other things coming at you, the acts of war, cannot tear it apart or tear it down. And when individuals start to learn that and they hear that and they come back to me continually, I'm so glad and so appreciative that you take these concepts, Maria Janet, and you break them down and you read them, you talk about them, you give us an opportunity for questions and answers. That means a lot to everybody out there because most of the people on the radio do talk teaching. They tell their story, but they don't really teach. And I'm continually getting feedback from lots and lots of individuals that come on the days that I'm on the air trying to put this message out there, and they're all saying, we go back and listen to your calls several times because you show us a way to learn and integrate this into our spirits so that we make sure our foundations are as foolproof and safe as JT's or Peter's or Kate of Gale or Maria Janet's, whatever. Because the truth of the matter is we've got to get this message out there in a meaningful way that inspires everybody to look at the true picture, not the electric bill, not the court case, not this, not whatever. What is the true foundation? That true foundation is learning to alter your capacity and standing where you are to make your foundation impermeable. And only we can do that, the ones of us that have chosen in our space in life right now. We've given up a heck of a lot, each and every one of us, and we don't get paid anything for doing 99% of what we do. A few donations here and there, but very little. We're out there because we have realized that we need to get the message of the foundation out there. And by doing that, each one of those ones that learn and do the foundation and get their foundation on the right footing, well, they go help others learn one by one by one. And they come back to the programs that are teaching them how to do this. It's not good enough anymore just to tell a story. What we have to do is really teach the foundation. And that's what JT has done, And that's what I've tried to do, is take some of his writings. And Peter, you've done a wonderful job on suijuris.me, because you made the website easy to motivate around, to find the knowledge and study it. And I just wish there was, 100 billion more of us to say this story and to get it out there to build those foundations correctly.
Yeah, it's, I got to tell you, Maria, it's you brought up a lot of very valid points, and so few people out there actually can grasp the level of play that we play at. In that, never mind the fact that I'm on the air minimum 10 hours to 15 hours a week, doing shows not only for Freedom Reigns but for awakeradio.co.uk, for Pied Piper, Free Central, other guestings that I do, the webinar that I'm doing with you for a couple hours every Thursday night. Never mind all the writings that I do, essays, and the research that goes on top of that. It's literally pretty much every waking hour of every day that I'm at my helm doing what I know that I have to do, because this was my choice to do it. And it's not out there looking for, I'm doing this so everyone should pay me this or that and the other. No, that's not how it works. The simple truth is, 3 years ago I said, I made my deal with Source again, and that I'm all in, basically just to keep me alive, keep me at my helm. And in the process of doing what I have done to uncover the truth, and knowing full well that I uncovered some serious ones, given the measure of resistance that I came up against with the system, in trying to quell me and trying to shut me up. And sorry, you can't do that. That's, truth must speak, because truth belongs to all. And that's all I am. I'm just a messenger. I challenge anyone out there to put their family, everything they ever knew in their existence, put their soulmate, put their kids, hey, my pets, my 3 dogs, I haven't seen them in 6 weeks. My kids, I've seen once since February 11th, the night of the raid. I've been literally slaughtered through the newspapers during the time that I was going through the solitary and what have you, and of course no one bothered to ask me for my opinion on these stories, so it might be a little one-sided, I have, suffered the sling arrows of outrageous fortune, and it truly is outrageous. Not only that, they took my home, and 17 years of that being my place of choice to live, as my photon of light. In my realm, taking my car, my truck, countless tens of thousands of dollars, if you want to talk material goods, thousands of dollars of food that had been stored, that I had been storing for the time if anyone ever needed it. And I've had many people come through my doors that can attest to the fact that there was a place for them to sleep if they had to, that there was food. They never had to worry about it. It was there. Ready, willing, and able. I spent over 20 years collecting silver, a little bit of gold here and there, knowing full well that fiat money is worthless. And at this point, I'm well over 5,000 ounces of silver to keep me in this game and to help others. It is gone. I'm down to next to nothing now. I dare anyone to say, okay, I'll do that. And that's exactly what I've done. And I'm not looking for the hero biscuit here at all. What I'm trying to convey here is it's equal and opposite, in that that's how much the truth was worth to me. And people in the mirror, anyone listening or having downloaded episodes of any interviews that I've done, the best thing I suggest to people is stay in the now with me, because I don't deal in the past, I deal in the now only. And you're well aware of that, Maria. We've had many talks on that. And I've watched, the paradigm shift within you. It's been an absolute glorious thing. You've been a beautiful mirror for me, and that you show me my own mirror. And I think we can come to agreement on the fact that if you're at war within, well, that's what exactly it's going to be without. And until you can find peace within self, and quell Cain and drop that tricky little bastard into oblivion, and it takes a bit to spot him, eh? But once you know that the cane is all about the emotion, that cane is all about the I can figure this out nonsense, all the rest of it, that cane is all about the physical realm and how things work and that, and wants to take full control of your helm to show, look how good I am, look what I can do, look what I can do, all about me, me, me. Once you understand that that is the cane and that cane knows shit, he knows nothing. So slap him down, throw him. And anytime anyone comes up against me with a derogatory or whatever, I know exactly what's speaking, and it isn't me. It isn't the most beautiful aspect of me that is you, the beautiful photon of light energy of God that you are. It's that program that has been implanted here, excuse me, to such a degree that you're actually convinced it's you. And you know the difference.
Right.
You've seen it. So, what else can I say? Other than that, and it's a beautiful awakening when people can actually realize that. And anytime anyone meets me, be it via Skype or face-to-face or whatever, they'll know very quickly exactly who and what it is they're dealing with, and I'm not going to tolerate any nonsense from any cane in any way, shape, or form, because I'm trying to peel that garbage layer off of you so that you can finally see the most glorious, beautiful thing that I've always been able to see, and that's you. You are stunningly beautiful, amazingly beautiful. Hey, Maria, was I right?
Yes. Very so. Took a little bit of challenge, but it got done.
Yeah, but what a beautiful mirror now, eh? Is this something? And you always know now when that tricky little bastard rears his head, because when the emotions kick in and when you're you get those urges and whatever. Like every day there's still something. And one of the things with me is I am a full-blown empath, and that what happens because of the nature of the being I am, and I'm looking at my mind aspect, I am a pure magnetic storm. So as an empath, what I'm doing is I'm literally taking all the energies of negative bullshit and the garbage that people have, and it literally wells up inside me because I can diffuse it, and that's what I do. But I'm also at the same time searching within that. Is that my emotion? Is that someone else's? What is it? And what do I have to get rid of? And today when I woke up, there was just this onslaught of this charged energy of negativity that was coming at me and surrounding me, and it hung out with me a lot of the day. But I knew what it was, and I have to. It takes a bit of effort for me to sort through it and to literally burn it so the phoenix can rise from that fire. But I will. But I'm at the point now where I'm not, I think you heard the first part of the show and whatever, and again, the whole point of the last three shows, Saturday, Sunday, and today, were trying to get me into a better role of serving. It's not about getting me a house, it's about getting me into a position of where I can serve more, where I can help more. And I'm going to do that anyway, to the point where I can't, and I'm at that point where it's getting where I can't. This is me reaching out to my mirror to say, I'm not looking for a hand out. I'm looking for a hand up, where I can climb that mountain a bit higher, and as soon as I get one more step up, I'm just going to be reaching back with my hand and start climbing. If you can consider me a mountain climber with a rope around my waist, I'm hanging from a cliff right now, and all I need is for someone to give me a little push so I can swing around and catch the crevice above me and climb up, because as soon as I'm there, I've got the rope tied on me that you're all attached to, and if you rest assured, you give me a foothold, I will pull the entire planet up onto this beautiful ledge where everyone can see what I'm seeing, and it is stunning. You have no idea how beautiful you are, and that's what I'm fighting for. That if there is a fight within me, I don't consider it a fight. I just consider it a beautiful objective within me, and that is to pull those out of the sticks, out of the river of death, onto the boat where I've already paid the boatman Sharon. I've paid him off. The boat's mine. And that's all I want is just to be able to help others. And if people can't have that and they can't accept that, and if they see a vested interest in it, that's fine. They can do that. Because here I am doing my own fundraisers, which I honestly didn't think I would be doing. I thought it was going to be me showing up for a little bit and say, hey, this and that. But my story isn't important. Those are my experiences. The only thing that I feel is important is what did I learn from those experiences in the truth that I can share with others that I know has resonated with so many because they are truth. It's not about being right or wrong. I could care less. I'm more interested in actually being wrong because as soon as I am, I'm looking at it going, oh, cool, I got to learn something. Now I've got something that I can sink my teeth into. Now I know that I have something that's real and tangible that I can share. And if I go out looking to be right, then that's just game. That's not the true gift is no. You know where I'm coming from.
I do. And I think things are going to come around like they should.
Well, I'm not going to doubt that either. I'm just I'm putting it out there to the universe where I am. And the hardest thing in my life to accept from anyone is help. And I know that this is my lesson. And I guess it's up to everyone else if I'm going to learn it or not. But let's put it this way. I know that anything that anyone has ever thrown to me has come back 1,000-fold. In more ways than one. It might come back in money, it might come back in other ways, but I guarantee you, I have planted far more seeds in this creation universe. As is our purpose under natural law, we are here to create more than we take. And what have we been doing to our mother, who we are the ones that are supposed to be giving her life? Not the other way around. People get it backwards. The guy gives us life. No, we give her life in that the reciprocation is flowed back. And we wonder why our rivers are poisoned. We wonder why our water is destroyed. We wonder why our forests are disappearing. We wonder why, we've been taking all this vile garbage from her bowels and burning it, including her rivers and oceans and purest waters. Why we have these storms and these earthquakes. That's just the manifestation of that which is occurring. That's the mirror of what's going on. I just chose to change my paradigm. I chose to have ease.
And that's what we all did. That's what we all did. And, when we see and hear people committing acts of war around us, we have to make an effort to try and say, excuse me, if you've been out there teaching this wonderful story of salvation and you do your acts of war and others see those acts of war that you do, then you need to be cautioned. You need to be, hey, hold it, wait a minute. I think I just heard you the other day explaining and teaching about this wonderful story of salvation, and yet right here and now, you are displaying many acts of war that is not right. You have to get your Cain mind out of you and not operate physically or demonstrate physically any such act of war. And we have to be strong enough and love those that do that enough to say, hey, wait a minute, let's back up a minute here and remind you that this story of salvation can never have any acts of war attached to it or associated with it. And once you get past that, you all of a sudden you find that you don't need to do any of that. It's really a blessing to be able to get rid of that part of your Cain mind and just put it to bed.
Yeah, so Maria, and I have to tell you, the beautiful, the gratitude that I'm going to flow back at you for including me in your webinars is listening to people like Greg and Raheem and Corey and Sandra, everyone that chips in on the webinars to call, and I listen to the beautiful resonance of what did I say to Raheem the other night? Well, it looks like Raheem's doing the next webinar.
Yes, he is struggling to get his foundation finished.
But he's
getting there. We are working at it.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, and I go back to the very first night on, and then to what the last night was, and it was most astonishing to watch the difference. To hear the beautiful, and it's a frequency vibration in the voice that is coming across, and this is what I'm listening for, because that's the musical in me. That's doing what I am. I hear the truth, and it is just beautiful. And yourself and you went out to the seminar. We got about just a little over 3 minutes left here. But you went out to the seminar, and Sandra was with you, and I know a lot of people learned a lot of truth that weekend. And what I'm trying to do here, and this is for anyone in Canada listening and anyone in the UK, because I was from the original UK jurisdiction and immigrated to the Canadian corporation jurisdiction. So once I get I'm already in the divine providence. Once I get myself set up, I'll be able to help people in Canada and the UK. Given where I'm at right now and what we have in front of us, I'm probably good for the rest of this week to be able to be on the air, and beyond that, it's going to be entirely up to everyone else listening and tuned in, because if I don't feel like I have a sense of purpose in helping people, and that actually is the mirror flowed back to me. And yeah, we have, I guess, 9% of the chip in, and there's probably at least that again. I just want this there. I said this earlier, but there's at least that again that has come in pledges from others. So, but even still, when you think of what we need to do to get, and this is not just for me, this is for 2 others that are going to actually end up being office staff that are going to be working for you that are listening out there, to help everyone with the Divine Providence paperwork. And I will walk people by the hand and make it easier. And I've always been there anytime people have called. If it's at all possible for me to take the call, I will. And the universe always works out that way. And that's all I want to do. I just want to be able to serve. And if I'm not worthy to serve, well, that's going to be entirely up to those that are listening, and those that have listened, and those that have benefited from that which I have shared. And I know there has been benefit beyond with the truths and the epiphanies that have hit me as a result of my experience. What I've experienced is irrelevant. What I learned from it was truth, and that's all I'm trying to share. And I just, the feast is paid for, belly up to the table, the drinks are on me. They've already been paid for. If you want to toss a tip at the waitress, here I am. But other than that, hey, I guess we'll see, won't we, huh? So we're going to close up here, Maria, so I'm just going to wrap it up. We've got about 40 seconds left. But I do want to thank Freedom Reigns Radio for Deatra, Rory, and David, and Ryan, everybody involved there for having me. And I will stay on as long as I possibly can. And look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday night, 7 to 9 p.m. here on freedomreigns.us. You can get to us through the main page. And flow if you can. I'm a humble and grateful servant if you do. And all I can do then is promise that I will serve many, many more. So I will manifest exponentially through you. So on that, I will say good day, and catch you guys on Wednesday. Much love. Take care.
We'll see you later. Thanks.
Love you.
Me too. You too.
All right, so we're done here.